everyone, it's Devon.
And it's Joe.
Two Taylor Swift stans, and we're here recording in our rooms on a typical Tuesday night.
That's right. This is a show where two friends finally get to let their dedication to our Lord and Savior Taylor Swift fly.
We're going to be discussing everything from song breakdowns, Taylor news, and our insane fan theories.
So, I don't think we're talking about any of that today. Devin.
We are
what
not.
What are we talking about on this typical Tuesday night?
So, this episode is near and dear to my heart because while you guys have listened to a couple of episodes so far, you really don't know that much about us and why we love Taylor Swift so much. So, personally for me, Taylor Swift has been one of my favorite artists of all time because there's something about her music that just feels very nostalgic. It feels like any situation that we've been through in our lives, you can kind of reference back to a song and be like, oh, that's that was when I broke up with my ex, or that's when I started a new relationship. It's, a very personal diary
Usually
entry. Those
two. It's not like, oh, that's when I bought a house.
Begin again, I bought a new house. No. So, any situation, there's always like an applicable song. So I feel, very connected to her and her music. And one of the things that really connects me to her music is crying to her music.
I keep going headless in the video. I'm sorry.
We'll edit it out.
Crying to her music. Continue.
Yeah, so crying to her music. So today we are going to be listing out all of the songs that Taylor Swift has written that have made us cry.
Aha. This shouldn't be an emotional episode at all. Not at all.
I should have got my tissues. For this. Damn.
I
have a roll of paper towel right here.
Well, and everyone heard it. Paper towels aren't great for doing tears, I don't think.
It'll just be rough. It's
just
fine.
Like this episode will.
Exactly. I'm going to use this episode as a free therapy session, so.
All right, I guess that's fair. So how do we want to go about this? What's the plan here?
I think the best way to do it is if we go from her first album to her last. We're going to talk about, basically breaking down the track list of which songs made us cry. And we're going to be discussing why they made us cry, if there's any like key lyrics that really pack on the moment of cry, and just anything else that pops into our minds. We have a couple overlapping ones so we can share experiences and hopefully, everyone listening can, relate.
I feel like some of these, if you don't relate, if you haven't cried to some of these songs, you're listening to the wrong podcast or your life is amazing.
Wow, I just can't relate to any of these sad songs.
People are crying? What? So we can start with the self-titled album, which I think for both of us, we didn't really cry to anything on here.
No, so to give the audience context, the self-titled album was released 14 years ago.
14 years ago.
I was 9 and in 4th grade.
I was 11. And in 2 grades ahead of you. 6.
So 6th grade.
6th.
We don't know math. Anyways.
7th. I was in 7th grade.
So 3.
That's what I wrote in my notes. 3 grades ahead of you.
Okay. So good for context.
I'm either really smarter than you or something.
All right. So
emotionally, no way.
I will admit, self-titled, I really didn't get into it. I wasn't a big Taylor Swift fan at the time. I probably only heard of like maybe a couple songs off the album that I really got into. So considering I was 9, I don't think I was really crying to any songs at the time. But what about you? Anything?
I don't remember 9. I don't remember that age.
It just didn't exist.
11, I remember certain things as I go back, but this is in the notes, so I have to say it. I was kind of deep into my hardcore gangster phase at that time.
I was really hoping
listening to Chamillionaire and like Lil Wayne and Young Jock, Young Jeezy. Akon was huge. I wrote a paper about Akon in 7th grade. So Swift wasn't even near my radar. I didn't listen to any kind of pop, anything like that. Swift wasn't near my radar, nor were any tears. I tried to keep tears away. by listening about songs in the club, of which, being a 7th grader, I had no idea what a club was like. Not that I do now, because I'm still not a club person, but apparently 7th grade me was.
Yeah.
I also wrote that I have no honorable mentions in this, but I think, like, I went through and was listening to a lot of her songs today, and it hasn't made me cry, but it's made me a little more emotional, and I've just been liking the song a lot more recently, was Mary, My.
Mary song.
Or Mary song, yeah. It's just such a beautiful song, and, like, the songwriting in it, I don't think I gave enough credit ever. Like, it's just really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can see, like, it tells a really good story that I don't know if I would cry to, but I could see me getting emotional about, especially if, like, I could relate, which I can't. And if you can, you probably don't cry because your life's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, an honorable mention, again, I didn't listen to it at the time, but if I knew about the song Tied Together with a Smile, I feel like that would make me cry every week of college, because, you know, you're tied together with a smile, but you're coming undone. Like, ooh. Oof.
She could write, man. Even when she was young, she could write.
Yeah, it's like, you know, a very realistic song where it's like, you know, everyone thinks you have your stuff together, and, you know, you're not, they think you're golden, but, you know, you're coming undone.
You're in college, nothing's together, really.
College was the best and saddest parts of my life.
100%. Half of the songs that I cried to on this were in college.
And it only gets better.
So it only gets better.
So that was self-titled. I don't really think I have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, it wasn't really, it wasn't Fearless. I'll tell you that right now.
12 years ago, the album Fearless was dropped. And I was 11 years old and starting middle school, so I was in 6th grade.
I was starting high school. So I think I was in 9th grade, yeah. So 12 years ago would be 2008. Yeah, that would be freshman in high school.
Yeah. So, for context, a lot of the songs I cried to were probably about this kid I, like, was obsessed with, like, since I was, like, a little baby. Let's call him Paul.
A little baby?
Well, yeah, we've known each other for, like, years. And so Paul and I were, like, super close. We had this big falling out, so a lot of these songs, like the first one, White Horse, whole entire song, crying, just tears. So some of my moments of cry would honestly be the whole song, but, you know, at the very beginning of the song, she's like, you know, I honestly believed in you, and, like, her voice cracks at the you, and stupid girl, I should have known. And the ending where she breaks down and she's like, try to catch me now. Like,
do you remember the music video for this song?
Mm-hmm.
Where she's just literally, like, crying in an apartment by herself on the phone. I remember thinking it was so extra back then. And didn't she also perform this song with Joe, like, right in the front row at, like, some music award or something?
Oh, God.
I feel like I remember that being a story where, like, she was, like, looking directly at him while she was performing this song.
Try and catch me now.
I feel like White Horse I never really cried to, mostly because it was very much from the perspective of girl to guy.
Yeah.
And while I am a professional person, I loathe to say this because I saw a meme that, like, changed my perspective on it, but I used to say I was professional at changing the pronouns in Taylor Swift songs so I could relate better. But then I read a meme that was like, no, if you don't try to change a pronoun. If you're singing a song in the reverse sex, you're gay for 3 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take it.
Oh, geez.
For Taylor Swift, I'll be gay for 3 minutes and sing the way the words she intended.
Oh my gosh.
But no, White Horse was never one for me. I guess I couldn't. I probably could relate in some ways, but, like, it was just so much of, like, I'm the princess, you're the prince kind of thing, and I'm, like, not the prince. Well, I kind of am, but back then I didn't see myself as a princess, so
yeah. I think another big thing too is, like, the way that I took it. Another time I cried to the song, because we've all cried multiple times to these songs.
Can't cry once.
Was probably sophomore year of high school. I listened back to it after a breakup. And, you know, it's a song that talks about, you know, this was a big world, or this is a big world that was a small town.
Mm-hmm.
You're in my rearview mirror disappearing now. It's, you know, you're growing up, you don't need that, you know, try to catch me now. I'm better, I'm moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just the, I'm better than this, you know, you broke up with me, idiot. Like,
she did do a lot of that.
Yeah.
She did do a lot of those, especially in Fearless.
yeah.
The next song, I don't, like, for me, I don't know how you don't cry to this song.
What's up?
Like, it Breathe.
I do cry to it.
I know, I didn't, no, I just meant generally. I don't know how someone doesn't cry to this song.
The audience.
The audience. I don't know how you can't. Like, I don't know. So when I didn't really listen to Taylor in 9th grade. I met a group of people in a youth group that I was involved in because I was trying to learn how to play guitar. And my mom made me go to a youth group for someone to teach me. And there was like this big group of people that like I meshed really well with, and 2 of the girls in there were like the biggest Taylor Swift fans in the world.
My girls.
And yeah, I mean, they're the reason that I ended up liking them, but like I always like was very like hesitant to like I very sarcastic like back then.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of how I think I approached all pop music. Like Kesha, before I loved Kesha, it was very sarcastic like. But Taylor, yeah, I was just like, well, these girls like it, so I'll listen to it, whatever. I'll only listen to it when they're playing it, but I'm never gonna listen to it by myself, lo and behold.
A podcast later.
Yeah, a whole podcast later. Breathe, like when I started like falling for some of the girls that were in that youth group, and like I think I experienced love, like, or what a high school equivalent of love is, so infatuation. About 5,000 different ways. And I was so good at making myself feel bad about it. So Breathe was one, like I learned to play guitar and I'm like, I'm going to play this song on guitar and I'm going to feel it. I'm going to feel it so much. And like the one that like the punch out moment for me was it's 2 a.m. feeling like I just lost a friend. Hope you know it's not easy. Like, I think this is going to come up a lot, but her bridges, especially in the early songs, were just so good.
Yeah.
At like, she just added some extra emotion to it and really, really went ham on it. And that, like, where you just get like you get the guitar that's like strumming like hard there, and she's just going like, it's feeling like I just lost a like, yeah, no, and I actually think the beginning you said, actually I think this one was just you, but I forgot about it, but people are people and sometimes it doesn't work out.
Oh, so with this song, because I before we listened to this, or before we recorded this episode,
are you gonna cry? No crying.
I did cry. I listened, so I made a whole playlist out of all of the songs that we're about to talk about that have made me cry, just so I can feel something again and like really get it going. And so today, at what time did I leave? Like 6:30. This song comes on, and it just takes me back to my most recent ex, which is weird because it's like a song that came out in, you know, what, 12 years ago, that still hits
in 6th grade.
In 6th grade, that still hits you to this day. Like, it just hits you in different ways, you know. You're the only thing I know, like the back of my hand. People are people, and sometimes we change our minds, or sometimes it doesn't work out. It's 2 a.m. feeling like I just lost a friend. Hope you know this ain't easy for me. I was like, I was the one who broke up with my ex. Let's call him Antonio. And yet it's hard. It's like, and the ending of the song where she's just saying sorry over and over again, it's just so sad. I was just crying.
After, so around 10th grade, I got in my first relationship, and that relationship lasted 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like it was weird. Like she was there for all of the rest of my high school and most of college, or I guess like a third of college, I would say. And I broke up with her, and this was one of the many songs, but like this one was like exactly the lyrics you pointed out, where it's just like, I hope you know this isn't easy. Like it's not a song of like, it's not a song of pain. It's not a song of like, well, it is a song of pain, but it's not like a song of like hate or vengeance or anything like that. Like no one, it's a song where none of the two parties did anything wrong. It's just a bad situation, and it's something that must be done. And when you relate to something like that, like it just hits really hard. Yeah. And like I remember there were a lot of times in that relationship that I was thinking about breaking up with her, and which is not great, but I was in high school, so I wasn't great. But I remember like this song was always one when the thoughts came of breaking up with her, this song came on a lot.
And I mean that applies for the chorus too, you know, breathe, I can't breathe without you, but I have to, like trying to make that decision. Oof.
Yeah, it was like, it was one of those things of like, when in that specific instance for me, like I had been dating this girl for so long, I couldn't imagine, and I couldn't, like, I'm not great at dating. I don't think I've ever gone on a date. Every relationship I've ever had has been like, we're just dating now. Like we're a thing now. That's just how every relationship I've ever been in has formed.
Can that happen to me? Just like, all right. Cool.
That's what I want, and that's why I'm single now. And that's why I've been single for so long, because I don't go on dates with people.
Yeah.
But this one, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what my life was going to be like without this person. And I was young and dumb, and I was just like, this is the only one. That's right. I found the one girl, when I was 16
in high school. In your hometown.
In high school. Yeah, she literally was 2 streets away from me. Like, stupid. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a tough one, and like I said, it unlike the next song that we're gonna talk about, it didn't really it wasn't a vengeful song. It wasn't. No parties did anything wrong.
Yeah.
The next song.
You want to talk about it first, because I think you have a little more to say.
This song actually came back up for me recently. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I promote this podcast to the people that it might be about, on the off chance they listen to it. But You're Not Sorry, I remember falling in love with this song. I think this was like the second song of Taylor Swift's that I really, really loved, especially because I remember it was on Turn, 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 the CSI episode that she was on, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it when it aired. And they just like recut and remixed it about 8,000 different ways for the show. And it was so emotional. I remember learning the solo because it was such like a deep cutting solo that just really resonated. And there were a lot of people in my high school that I interacted with and in this youth group that I interacted with that were not sorry.
Yeah.
And this song applied to a lot of them. Like, they would do things that, like, I didn't think were great, and then I would have to sit there and sulk over this song because they weren't sorry. They knew what they did, but no, they didn't give a crap about me. So, what was There's Nothing Left to Beg For was the biggest.
Yeah.
It was just such a release of just, like,
there's
nothing else you can do.
She sings it so angsty, you know. I don't really have much to add. I think the same sentiment for me. It was probably about my first relationship, like my first serious one, sophomore year of high school. I forget if I give him a nickname or not. Let's call him Gargoyle.
Okay, wow, you really went down the rabbit hole. Paul Antonio Gargoyle. Whoever that person is, I am sorry.
Can you tell? That's the one ex I don't like to this day. Everyone else, all
you
my
only
other
have one? That's so nice.
All my other exes, I love, I adore them. I'm so happy for them with whatever they're doing now. But Gargoyle,
I only have one of those.
Gargoyle can go back in his cave. I don't care what he's doing. I've come to peace with it. I don't care. But he's just a gargoyle.
I'll tell you the nickname that I had for the one, but I don't think it's not like R-rated or anything, but it's like harsh. You're Not Sorry actually came back up though for me, because there was a girl that like I've been seeing on and off, and like it was just a lot of like realizing like the effort that I was putting forward was not the effort I was getting in return, and it was just like a lot. Like I remember it came on one day while I was driving around for work, and I was like, I heard like the opening lyrics, and I'm like, oh, okay. okay, let me repeat that song. And then I put it on repeat. And I just listened to it nonstop. And I had just gotten Spotify. So, like, for the next, it might still be there, but for, like, the next 3 months, it was on my on repeat on Spotify at, like, the top slot because I just played it to death. And then I posted it on my Instagram story, and 5 seconds go by, and the girl that I posted it about texted me, like, everything okay? And I was like, crap! And I was like, abort, delete it from my story, get out of here.
Oh my God.
This isn't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to actually see it.
That's the point when you post that one story. It's like a Gatsby
I know.
move. You post
I
one
wanted
story.
to. I wanted her to see it, but I didn't want her to say anything about it.
She went, You said
She went, oh, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing here. And I'm like, dang it, she does.
Oh, do you have any more off of Fearless?
I don't. Well, wasn't Love Story on Fearless?
Yes. I didn't have that, so if you want to talk.
I didn't even see. I thought they weren't together. Yeah. Go with yours.
Okay.
And then we'll do my last one. We'll do Love Story.
Okay. So the last one for me is not really about a relationship, but it's The Best Day, which is, about her and her family. And I just cry because I think about, like, the relationship that I have with my mom, who's probably listening, and, like, because, like, some of the lyrics, like, the whole second verse when she talks about, how she's 13 and doesn't know how her friends could be mean. I come home crying and you hug me tight and grab the keys, and we drive and drive until we found a town far enough away, window shop, XYZ. And then it goes, I don't know who I'm going to talk to now at school, but I know I'm laughing on the car ride home with you.
I always thought this was about her dad.
Well, I think she has a really close relationship with her mom
It's
and
definitely
her dad.
closer with her mother. I think it's closer with her mother, though.
But in the bridge, it goes, I have an excellent father. His strength is making me
That's
stronger.
why I thought it was about her. Yeah.
But just,
I want to point out here to the audience that we do have notes that we're going off of while we do these episodes, and we did put specific lyrics on here, but Devon is continually just pulling full lyrics out of thin air that are not on these notes, and I just want to say how impressed I am, because I don't think I'm going to be doing any of that. I put so many of these lyrics in here because I knew I wouldn't remember them off the top of my head. But yeah.
There's one point in the notes where I just put, like, the first 2 words of each line, and I just know I love lyrics. I'm a big lyrics person. But
I think I kind of fell out of it just because once, and we could talk about this at length at a different time, but I think there was a point that I hit where songs didn't hit as hard as they used to.
That's so sad.
I know. It's really upsetting to me. But, like, I love sad songs. I really do. Mayday Parade is one of my favorite bands outside of Taylor Swift and pop songs. And Mayday Parade is literally nothing but just depressing emo stuff.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I just love really emotional stuff. I listened to so much, like, emo music when I was in high school and just felt it.
Yeah.
And now I try to regain that. Like you said, with the nostalgia, like it does, especially music, especially Taylor most importantly, but there is just so many songs that just feel like a lyrical photo album, really.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing with Taylor Swift's lyric writing. She describes it herself that she takes a snapshot of, a moment in her life that she can elaborate on and remember. So it's like memories in songs, which is really cool. And I think that's why she makes it generic enough that a lot of people can relate to it, but specific enough that it, like, hits you deep. So
this one is a little bit off the wall, though, because I don't think many people, if any, have ever cried to Love Story.
I love this. Please tell me more.
Yeah, so like I said, I was a freshman in high school, and I just got, like, this new group of friends that were in a youth group. And there was a couple of pretty girls in the youth group, and one of which I gravitated towards a lot. There's a whole story back to it, but I'm not going to go through. I'm just going to say, like, yeah, I gravitated towards this one girl. And I was still in my, like, I don't care about Taylor, blah, blah, blah. But I knew that she did, and so did her friends and everything. So, like, when I was learning guitar, I learned the intro to Love Story because I'm like, see what I can do? Look what I can do. This is for you.
Oh,
and then, like, and I just kept talking to her. Like, we became, like, the group that I was with became like an inseparable group of people. It was the closest thing I've ever had to like a friends group, like the show Friends.
Oh, okay.
Not like any friend group. No, like I have a lot of friend groups, but like it was like every other Friday we would go. We would always be together. We would always sit together. We would have parties at my house. We would have pool parties. We would always do everything together. And I had this huge crush on this girl. So much I thought I loved her because I was an idiot in high school.
Yeah.
And there's during the height of AIM, if you remember AIM, AOL Instant Messenger.
Yep.
And we just sent the lyrics back and forth to Love Story. Where like I would say like I said I'll be the prince, and she said I'll be the princess. Like we changed it and everything, and like it was so gag-inducingly cute. And I was like, that's it. Like she's the one. Like that's what it's meant to be. And then when I was about to ask her out, like literally I'd planned, like I talked to my friends about it. I'm like, I'm gonna ask her out. It's gonna be like this week, or like I'm gonna make it perfect. Blah blah. Like the week before, she invited me to go to a play with a guy that I knew from school that I did not like at all. In high school, I called him my mortal enemy because I was a child. And she kissed him right in front of me on the face. Like it was almost like she like intended for me to see it. Like I don't know if it was malicious, but it felt like it was malicious. And yeah, it wasn't great. And she had to drive me home. So she puts on Kesha's Blow in the car, and I'm just crying on my friend's shoulder to Kesha's Blow. And I don't know if you've ever had to do that, but it's a really hard thing to do. So after that, Love Story was like not my favorite song. I remember it came on the bus while I was coming home from school one day, and I felt physically ill in my stomach. Like it was bad. It took a long time for me to be able to listen to that song and not feel like crap.
That is so sad. I'm so sorry.
It is so funny every time I get to
the Kesha part.
Yeah, the Kesha part's terrible. I can't believe I remember that. But every time I get to like around March 9th in my Facebook memories, it just gets so depressing because all of my statuses are like, how could you do that? And like all of these really sad, terrible things. It's hilarious. Now that I'm older and like can look back at like how stupid I was.
It's great content. It's fantastic.
I think she still has me blocked though. So I don't think that didn't really end well. And I did nickname her Satan after that to all my friends. So anytime we talked about her, we called her Satan. And that just shows how much of a childish, immature idiot I was in high school. Not that I've grown up a lot since, but I don't call people Satan. Oh, that's actually not true. I have another ex-girlfriend that I call Satan.
Oh, God. Okay. Now we see why Joe is single, everyone.
I kind of knew it.
You're that kind of guy that's like, yeah, my ex-girlfriend was crazy. My ex-girlfriend was crazy.
Look, they all were, okay? Mm-hmm. The first one was amazing. I can't say any bad things about her. The rest were crazy. The rest were crazy.
Oh, gosh. Okay. What else?
I think we had one honorable mention on this one. Was Come In With the Rain.
I had not listened to that really during this album, so I saw that you commented about it. It sounds like reading the lyrics and listening to it, I probably would have cried at some point in my life, but because I didn't listen to it when it was like relevant, it never happened for me.
It was just so hopeful. And like I have like the lyrics that I have that really got like it was mostly towards the end. I'll leave my window open, and the last line. Again, like I said, post-bridge choruses for her are so powerful. And it's so weird. I actually have this tied in with another song, but like to just juxtapose it a little bit. But like in this post-bridge chorus, she strips everything out and she makes it very vulnerable. And she makes it very like, it just feels like I've had enough. Like I'm tired of trying. And then the other song that I don't know if I ever cried to, but knowing me probably, was Forever and Always, which I don't know how you don't have on this list.
Forever and Always?
Forever and Always.
The reason why I never cried to it was because
no one ever said forever and always to you?
No. In 7th grade, I did a lip sync competition, and me and my 2 friends were like, let's do a Taylor Swift song, and we did Forever and Always, and it's really embarrassing. It's somewhere on YouTube. I will find it, and I will show you one day, and we'll record it, because it's great content.
It's going to be great content.
It just never... I mean, I guess, like, I raged to it, but just I've completely blocked that song out of my memory because of that experience. It was just so traumatizing.
Love Story was like that for me. Like I said, like, I blocked that. It was gone.
Yeah.
But like I was saying in the other one, like, she does the exact opposite that she does with Come Into the Rain, where, like, she goes harder on the post-bridge chorus. Where she's just like, when we said forever and always, like, she just goes higher. She has a little bit of a key change.
Rains when you're here and it rains when you're gone.
And you can hear it raining. You can just feel it. You just feel the rain coming down. And there's just so much emotion in that song. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last song on Fearless for me.
So now we get to Speak Now. 10 years ago. So I was 13, which is my Taylor year.
I was 15.
And it was my first year of high school, so 9th grade.
It's worth noting, everything that I spoke about on Fearless happened about the time that Speak Now came out.
Yeah.
Because
you're just relating back to it.
Yeah, because I did not listen to any of that when Taylor came out with it. Mm-hmm. I think Red is the first album that I listened to when it was released.
Gotcha.
Everything else I was a fan after it came out. Like, or had been out for a little bit.
Yeah. So, I think this is one of the albums that are like 5 songs off of it I cried to. So I'll try to roll through them relatively quickly. But the first one is Back to December. Probably, I think that Back to December is a great song to cry to when you're the one who dumped someone. Mm-hmm. So I can relate this back to like my ex from senior year of high school. I forget if I named him anything, so I'm just gonna forget him. And then my most recent ex, Antonio. You know, the beginning, like, you know, how's life? Tell me how's your family. Mm-hmm. Again, I sobbed to this on the drive here to record this episode. In particular, the song, the lines, the lyrics. The lyrics that got to me the most were, so this is me swallowing my pride, standing in front of you, saying I'm sorry for that night. I'm someone very prideful. I'm someone who I think I'm it, and I'm just great, and, you know, everything I do is fine. So
humble.
Humble, of course. I'm like either extremely braggadocious or I'm just trash. There's no in between for me.
Okay.
So the chorus is just like admitting that, yeah, like, I'm sorry I did this to you. You gave me all your love and all I gave you was goodbye. Also, both of the men that I dumped right before Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So you gave me all your love theoretically for Valentine's Day and all I gave you was goodbye.
They had to, I hope they had a gift receipt. Jeez.
Well, one of them didn't get me a gift, I think.
Oh, well then he deserved it.
One of them drove like an hour, this was in high school, to visit me at college. And I was like, bye.
I will say this song gave me a lot of respect for Taylor, because I remember when I was starting to get into her, it was very of the stereotypical of, oh my gosh, all she does is sing about breakups, blah, blah, blah. All she does is like badmouth guys and all this stuff. And I was like, I listened to it and I'm like, wow, she's the bad guy in this song.
Yeah.
Like, and she's admitting that she's the bad guy in this song. And it gave me a lot of respect in my early days for her as a songwriter and as a person. To do that, especially with all of the, like, the cloud around her of what reputation she had gotten at that time. Mm-hmm. It was just so unlike at the other songs and what I knew of her, stereotypically going into becoming a fan.
Yeah, I remember when the song, I mean, we can get into it when we do the song breakdown eventually, but the other 2 lyrics that really hit me were, I miss your tan skin, your sweet smile, so good to me, so right, and
It was about the wolf guy, right?
Taylor Lautner.
Gosh,
yeah.
I'm so upset they never got married. Could you imagine? They would have both been named Taylor Lautner. How amazing is that?
She would not change her last name.
I know, but in theory, that's amazing. I love that.
And then the last line that hit me on the drive home or drive here was, I'd go back in time to change it, but I can't. So if the chain is on your door, I understand. And it's like wanting to be friends with someone and wanting to like have that relationship. But like if the chain's on your door, like I understand.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I'm the one who did this to you. Like it's not my place.
Mm-hmm. It's mature.
I am a mature person.
Not
But that's
you,
it for. Oh. I'm mature for relating to it.
That's the only song on Speak Now that you cried to?
Oh no. There's 4 more, sir. The next one both of us cried to, and that was Dear John.
I don't think I actually cried to it, but like
it's an honorable mention.
I think it's because it's the same problem that that White Horse had, where like I've never dated a John. Don't see myself ever dating a John.
Yeah, but I've never dated a John either.
Yeah, but John is a guy.
Oh.
And I've never dated a guy.
Yeah, but have you ever dated someone like manipulative and like abused you?
Everyone.
Dear John.
But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like I put the line that like I did, and that came up recently. That was along the lines of the "You're not sorry" thing. Was you are an expert at sorry and keeping lines blurry. Like, oof. And then I think the other one, just off the top of my head, because I can pull lyrics out of thin air too. Was you paint me a blue sky and turn around and turn it to gray. Like,
it's turn it to rain. I thought it was turn it to gray.
Is it not turn it to gray? I hate
it's
this.
Turn it to rain. Yep.
I don't like this.
So for me,
yeah, it is.
For me, this was definitely about college because you get older and people start like manipulating you. So this was like my freshman year of college, like right after I had broken up with my ex and started talking to this new person. And you know, I see it all now. It was wrong. Don't you think 19's too young to get played by your cruel, twisted games? Like, I was 19 and I got played, and like we're fine now. But the ending part,
you're like mentally checking off boxes. Like, what? Taylor, get out of my mind.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's why I love her so much. There's always, you know, me and my friend Steph. I'll give her a shout out if she's listening. We always pull back this quote like, oh, it's just another Taylor Swift song I can relate to. So it's like you keep a phone. I used to. I deleted it like years ago, but I would keep a notes app, like a notes in my phone of all of the songs and like who I could relate it to.
That's some kind of psychological behavior.
But then the last line from the song, like, I'm shining like fireworks over your sad, empty town.
Yo, let me tell you, when I watched Speak Now World Tour for the first time, and every subsequent time, that line is delivered so beautifully in that video, and it is like, it's chilling to watch that video of her, like the fireworks all erupting behind her as she says it, and she's just like, it's the exact opposite of Back to December, where she's like, ha ha, in your face.
Exactly. Like, you know, you hurt me, you know, you didn't treat me right, but look at me now. Like, and I relate to that. Like, look at me now. Look at all the things I'm doing. I'm co-hosting a Taylor Swift podcast. What are you going to do about it?
I have soundproofing on my wall.
So that was Dear John for me.
Dear John, like I said, no actual crying, I don't think, but like I think like it was definitely one of those emotional songs that I think, especially with the Speak Now World Tour, definitely gave it more to me.
Yeah.
I think we actually have one too that's kind of like, I put a little side blurb, but Story of Us you wrote next.
So surprisingly,
I don't think it's surprising. I could see it like,
it's like an angsty sad song.
Yeah, like but it's like an upbeat sad song too.
Like, this is the kind of song that I was crying to while also jamming, like, you know,
because it's a head bobber.
And I'm standing alone and just crying, and we're not speaking. Like, but this was about me and like my childhood crush for years, and it's just like, I'm dying to know, is it killing you like it's killing me? You held your pride like it should have held me. I tell you I miss you, but I don't know how. I've never heard silence quite this loud. Ugh.
That's a good one. That's a really good line. I've never.
Yeah.
That's just like a poetic line. Like,
yeah.
If you took that into a poetry class and read that, like, I feel like the teacher would be like, okay, all right. this kid might be something. And then you find out you plagiarized, and that's a whole problem. But
Yeah.
Story of Us, yeah, no, it's definitely a bop. But like that's the problem that I have is like I know the words to the lyrics could have made me cry, and I definitely relate it back. I think Speak Now and Before, everything there was just all related to high school and the drama that I felt around Satan and some of the other, like
Satan
one or
won.
two of the other girls. Yeah, Satan won. All Satan Senior and all of the other girls that like I vaguely had like crushes on or developed things on. I this might be a bad story to tell, but I remember one thing about me in high school that I described myself as, which will again give you how terrible of a human being I was in high school. Was I described myself as a shotgun crusher.
What does that mean?
Which meant I thought it was brilliant. I still kind of think it's brilliant, but I kind of developed crushes on nearly as many people as humanly possible, with the hopes that one of them would like me back.
That is so messed up.
It wasn't like I fell in love with all these people, but it was just like almost every class I was in, I remember in high school, I had a crush on at least one person in that class.
If I like everyone, someone must like me
Someone's
back.
got to like me back. Like, it's just math. Like...
The statistics.
And it eventually
Probability.
worked, but... You know, not my best moment. And I've grown out of that, thankfully.
Yeah. So speaking of growing out of something, Never Grow Up?
Yeah, I think this was, I never cried to this song until recently. Like last year, around like I was 24 last year, and I remember I was driving for work on 476. There's like a major highway down here, and Never Grow Up came on shuffle on my Spotify, and I was like, huh. I always skip this song, always, because it's sad, it's not upbeat, and like when I'm driving, I'm usually like, yeah, let's pump it up, like blah blah blah. So I was like, you know what, I won't skip it. Let's hear it. I haven't heard it in God knows how long. And yo, that song destroyed me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I'm nowhere near having a family, but like I learned guitar with the hope that like I would be able to like sing songs to my kids to get them to go to sleep or something. And like I've always wanted to be a father. Like I'm very excited about the prospect of having children one day. Mm-hmm. And just I started thinking like, this is going to be the song that I sing to my kids when they're a child. And then I started thinking about being an adult to that child and being a parent to that child. And it absolutely slaughtered me, man. Like, it was so sad. Yeah. And I put it on repeat, and I was just like, feel it harder. It's like, I haven't cried in so long. I'm like, yes, this is it.
Yeah, I cried to this today, too. It's hard because, like, you think about your family, and, like, you think about the relationship that you have with your parents, mm-hmm. and, you know, don't make her, like, just talking about her mom. Don't make her drop you off around the block. Remember that she's getting older too. Like, don't remind me my mom's gonna die. I don't want to hear that. And
I don't know if I put a lyric on here, but it's like I think it's towards the bridge where she's like, remember the footsteps, remember and all your little brother's favorite songs. Remember what it sounded like when your dad came home. Like, so, like I've never had a dad, so I don't know what that sounds like. But like I do remember my mom coming home. Like I remember I knew her keys and I knew her perfume, and like I remember in kindergarten, like when my mom came to pick me up from kindergarten, there would be all these moms and parents coming in with keys like dangling and everything. But I knew exactly how my mom's keys sounded. So when I heard those keys, I knew my mom was here and stuff like that. And like I remember like with the girl I did date, like I remember chilling at her house, and I had a very, very good relationship with her father. I still vaguely do. And I remember when he would come home from work, and we would all make a big deal about it. And like it got me thinking, like, when I become a dad, I want my kids to like be so happy when I come home and like drop everything they're doing, come give me a hug and everything. And
I'm so sad now. Oh my gosh.
This song is just, it hits at every age. Every age.
Like, I just realized everything I have someday is going to be gone. And then towards the end, I mean, I could relate to it now because change of scenery. I moved into my first real apartment, but I think it relates more so to like when I moved out on my own to college. Like, you know, I got here at my new apartment. My parents just dropped me
city.
off. It's colder than I thought it would be. And I remember, like, my first night of college, like...
Did you turn your nightlight on?
I didn't have a nightlight. I was too cool. But I remember I had a roommate. But I remember being so confident and so happy and like, yeah, this is what I wanted. And then I got there, and the first night I was just crying, and I'm like, I miss home. And then I got over it the next day. But, like, that first sadness...
I don't think I ever felt that, sadly.
I wish I'd never grown up. I don't want to grow up. Like, her just lamenting that is just so sad. I feel that. I don't want to grow up.
Her, like I said, her post-bridge choruses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's never grow up for me.
I think this is the last one, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, if you haven't cried to Last Kiss, like, get out of here. Don't listen anymore. We don't want you. You're too strong.
Larry wrecked me my sophomore year of college. I remember
Larry the Lobster, what are you doing?
Or it was a junior year he broke up with me, and I remember just sobbing on my floor. You told me you loved me, so why did you go away? And then the part that I remember I would sing to myself to, like, make myself feel the pain. He was, like, a larger dude, so I just had this giant sweatshirt.
Oh my gosh.
But now I'll go sit on the floor wearing your clothes. Just...
Oh my gosh.
I would literally just sit there. I don't know how to be something you miss. Like, oh, God. And then the bridge. The bridge always...
Of course. Taylor and her bridges, man. I swear to God.
Do you want to go over it, and I'll just sit here crying?
I will say my experience with this song is a little bit different because, and remember, in high school, I was a terrible person. I've gotten mildly better. But, yeah, I remember crying to Last Kiss a couple of times because when I was breaking up with my girlfriend, I think it was 3.5 years total. And all the times that I was thinking about breaking up with her, and this is the really bad part, I know I was thinking about breaking up with her senior year of high school, and I still ended up dating her until I was a sophomore in college.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the bad part. But I remember listening to this song and thinking, both after I broke up with her and before I broke up with her, gosh, this is what she's gonna go through.
That is so messed up.
I know.
That's what I went through.
How tragic. This poor girl is gonna think, like, she's gonna listen to the song and cry, and it made me so sad. And I'm not a psycho. Monster. No, I felt bad. Like, it made me not want to break up with her because, like, I loved her. Like I really cared about her, and I didn't want her to go through this.
Yeah,
and,
I know. It's understandable.
And I hate that I did that. I hate that, like, there were times in my life where I would listen to songs from other people's points of view. Because I thought I was some great commodity, which I kind of am, but, like, still, and we can, like, my comments on this are the whole bridge, everything, like,
yeah,
I have to psych myself up for this bridge every time it comes up.
So, if I can quickly interject, so this one, again, I, like, relate it to my junior year of college, but today, when I was listening to it, the bridge, because it's slightly different, I found myself, like, I was, like, fine the entire song, and then the bridge came on and something snapped, and I just started sobbing. Like, so I'll watch your life in pictures like I used to watch you sleep.
This song, I think, is the closest analog for All Too Well for me. Like, there is just so many parallels, and I think we could do a whole episode drawing parallels between Last Kiss and All Too Well. But, like, watch your life in pictures like I used to watch you sleep. Like, I feel that in my chest. And I'll feel you forget me like I used to feel you breathe.
I don't want to talk about it.
Like, it's so, I think, and the one that always gets me, and it reminds me, like, the reason it reminds me of All Too Well so much is there is that part in All Too Well where she has that building crescendo of, like, she gets so, like, high and powerful, and then she goes down, and, like, it's a very soft-spoken post-bridge, or second half of a bridge. But she does that in this song, too, where she says, you can plan for a change in weather and time, but I never planned on you changing your mind. And that, no matter what mood I'm in, where I could be on top of the world, I could have just gotten married. Actually, probably worse if I just gotten married. But if I hear, but I never planned on you changing your mind, Ugh.
It's just so sad. I mean, the whole
I thought she said you can plan for a change in the weather in town. I always thought that's what she said.
Oh no.
Silly. And I really don't. I there are so many lyrics in this song that can make me cry. I remember your handshake meeting my father, because I remember, like I said, me and the girl that I dated for 3.5 years, I was so close to her dad. Like we would stay up until 5 a.m. regularly talking. Where like everyone else in her house has gone to sleep. She's nowhere. She was asleep at 9 p.m. and I'm up talking to her dad until 5. Like the relationship that I had with her family and everything, like it was exactly like this. Not a day goes by that I don't miss this rude interruption. Like, it just gets me. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I want to leave some of this for the song breakdown when we get to this in 2023. But this song is in my top 5 of Taylor Swift songs. Like it's very much up there for me.
Yeah, just the whole bridge, like whether you were dumped or you dumped someone, the fact of like still caring about a person and like not being able to be there for them, like, you know, watching your life in pictures and feeling you like forget me, and I keep up with your like our old friends just to ask them how you are. I did that. I was like, yo, how's Antonio? And they're like,
I tried so hard never to do that. I tried so hard.
Oh, see, I'm awful, and I want them to know. I'm like, I want you to know that I still care.
Oh no, I want them to know that I'm doing great.
But that's like if you didn't have, like, I had a very amicable breakup.
I guess I can. Yeah. I wonder what that's like. Yeah.
Must be nice, huh?
I had the one.
I mean, it was amicable on my end. It was amicable when we broke up. He might hate me now. Who knows? If you're listening to this, Antonio, I'm sorry.
Let me know.
Hit me up.
Hit us up in the DMs. We have follow us on Instagram and hit us up.
Send us a DM.
I just want to let you know that when we started this recording and we started planning this, Devon was like, this will be like a half hour, 45-minute episode. And I was like, Devon, I think you're severely underestimating how long we can talk about crying. And as I look at my thing at the 54-minute mark.
All right, speak now.
We have an ad break that we're going to go to.
We just did speak now.
We just did speak now. We still have 4 other records. 4 other records. We went through 3. Luckily, there is a lot less on them, but we're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsor, Anchor, and then we'll be right back. All right, so we're back, and I think that was actually the perfect place to do an ad break because this is like this. We switched into albums where, like I said, Red is the first album I listened to as it was coming out, and it sparks. Red came out when I was in college, sophomore in college, I believe, and. This was after my relationship with the girl that I've been dating for so long, and I started getting in other relationships that were like that relationship. Like I said, that was the most loving, respectful, healthy relationship I think I've ever been in, and then it was all downhill from there. So
you had a good run.
I had a good. I would rather that reverse. I'd rather everything be terrible in high school, and then at the end I'm in the healthy relationship because maybe I wouldn't be single now.
Thus is life.
So we did this in a terrible order. But there's actually, I think I might have cried to more songs in this record than you did.
Really? I think I cried to 6 in this record. Actually, no, I changed it to 5. I took one off because I didn't really cry to it. But to put this in context, I was 15, so I was in 10th grade. And just imagine being 15 and hearing All Too Well for the first time. I could never. We're going
to start with All Too Well?
We don't have to start with it, but I'm just saying.
No, we're going to. We got to now. I guess we might as well get the best one out of the bag. Start off strong.
All right.
Yeah. No, Jesus. All Too Well.
How many times have I cried to this song? Too many relationships.
Every time. Every time.
Honestly, I mean, the whole song's emotional, but the really big, like, I'm sobbing moments are the bridge and the end.
The bridge and the end, 100%. And this is like... I honestly, like, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because I'm pretty sure we are going to talk about All Too Well
a lot
constantly on this podcast. Like, I think we both count it as the best Taylor Swift song ever written, ever recorded. Taylor, please give us the other verses. I can only ask for so long.
The 8-minute version.
the 14-minute version.
14 minutes?
I think it was 14, and she gave us some of the other chord or verses in like the Lover thing, but there is just so much of this song that I related to too, because this, like I said, this came out right at the end of my 3.5-year relationship when I had no idea what to do, and I hadn't been single in God knows how long, so I had no idea how to act, and I was a little kid with glasses in a twin size bed. I remember sitting with my mom and my girlfriend at the time, going through photo books and her laughing at pictures of me and me getting really embarrassed. Like, I remember living this thing, and I remember like she says it in one of the times she's talking about the song, where she mentions, she's like, this song was so personal and so detailed about specifically me that I thought no one was going to relate to it. And I don't know how, like, she has no idea how wrong she was. Well, I think she does now, but like it's just one of those that like everyone can pull at least one line out of the song and be like, yep, that was exactly what happened in my relationship. Every single person. And again, like a bridge, if you don't cry to this bridge, you don't listen to the song right.
It's just so emotionally heart-wrenching too, the way she like sings it, which we'll get into with the song breakdown, but you call me up again just to break me like a promise.
So casually cruel in the name of being honest.
I'm a crumpled up piece of paper lying here. Ugh, too much.
I'm we're still amidst COVID-19 and quarantine, but once things start lifting, I'm getting my All Too Well tattoo, because this song means the most to me of any song that I've ever heard, except for the song that I already have a tattoo of.
Yeah.
But for a much different reason. So, I noted here, like, the next major girlfriend that I had, I started dating her when 1989 came out. But I didn't really gravitate towards 1989 as much. And so I just returned to Red and listened to that song a lot, and a lot of the other ones too.
Red is just such a great album.
It was always my favorite, but I think I'm torn between Lover and Speak Now. But that was All Too Well. Like I said, we don't want to talk too much about it because we don't want to get the audience sour on it already.
One more note about it.
Yes.
And then we're done. So, again, being dumped. So this was my, sophomore year of high school, and then my junior year of college. Time won't fly. It's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it.
Let me tell you how many times that was a caption on an Instagram picture that I posted.
Oh, that's so emo.
Oh yeah.
But it's just, it means a lot. It hits really heavy. Taylor Swift does it again. So that's All Too Well.
Do you remember posting lyrics as your Facebook status?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still get those memories and go, gosh,
I deleted them all.
No, I keep them. I don't delete anything. My Facebook memories where it says shower. Yeah, I keep that one.
I'm friends with too many professional people on Facebook.
If they go back 13 years on Facebook and go, this kid took a shower and told the world about it.
You never know. Anyways, this next song is actually, I didn't cry to it at the time. I didn't cry to it until this year with my my most recent ex, because I guess I didn't really listen to it as much, but when I started re-listening to Red, just
Red, the first 6 or 7 songs on Red, aside from 22, they're some of her most emotionally charged, right in the beginning. And I have casual mentions of Red and Treacherous of they're not cry songs, but they're emotional. And when you listen to Red all the way through, that beginning stretch is just it's body blow after body blow after body blow.
Just knocks you down.
And then it ends on All Too Well, and I think I almost do. Is that number 6?
It's later in the album, I think. I don't know what track it is.
I'll look it up.
I'm not that good. Yeah. But with I Almost Do, it's crazy because I listened to it and I was crying from my perspective, Did
you do what I did?
Yeah. So, and I wish I could tell you it takes everything in me not to call you, and I wish I could run to you, and I hope you know that every time I don't, I almost do. And then the other lyrics, I bet you think I probably moved on or hate you. I can't say hello to you and risk another goodbye.
That one gets me. Like, I remember posting
Yeah.
that lyric as a Facebook status, and and my friend who like hated Swift at the time was like, "Wow, that's really good," and I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you think it's really good. That's Taylor Swift. You're a fan now." And all I almost do is track 7.
Okay.
So it's
And
it's right. It goes all too well. 22, like, hey, cheer up a little bit, and then boom, cry.
Yeah. So, and then the last lyrics, it's so relatable. Like, I bet this time of night you're still up, tired from a long, hard week. I hope you wonder about me. So I was crying from my perspective, and I'm like, I wish my ex knew this. And then I, like, clicked it in my head because I was like, this isn't a song about, like, breaking up with someone. It's about, like, being the person who was dumped. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh my god, does my ex feel this way? And then I just started crying even more because I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe that's why he never called. Like, I can't risk, saying hello and risk another goodbye. I hope you wonder about me. Like, it's like when you can relate to a Taylor Swift song multiple ways, that's how it hits.
From every angle. Mm-hmm. I remember this song, a weird story between this. So between my 3.5-year relationship and the next like serious relationship, I had like a quick like one-off month that I dated someone, broke up, got back together, broke up again. Aside from the first girl I ever dated, I have never dated someone once. We always break up and get back together at least once, at maximum 4 times. Yeah, again,
good,
not great. But this song I remember was after like the girl who broke up with me 4 times. I remember I clung to this song for that because that was also the first time. She was the first girl who ever broke up with me. Every other time I had been the one, which was like, and I still think every other time I've broken up with the person, I've never been, she was the only girl who broke up with me, but somehow she still makes my number even. Like, I've broken up with 4 girls, and I've had 1 girl break up with me 4 times.
Just keeps you on a string.
Yeah, like, it was nuts. But I remember, when she first broke up with me, and then when she second broke up with me, this song is like the one where I'm just like, especially the second, and then now the third time, I think it was weird. The second time, though, it was just like, I've got it. Like, I want to go back. Like, I don't want to not be with her because I was stupid. But like, so the song was just like, I almost do. Like, she was also terrible at it. Like, she would break up with me and then keep wanting to talk to me and keep wanting to be friends. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
And I almost, like, that was a song that I went through. It was just like, do you still think, like, and she did, and that was the problem. Absolutely awful, terrible.
Yeah. So the next one for me was Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. It's such like a melancholy way that she sings it, like words, how little they mean when you're a little too late. The whole bridge. Distance, timing, breakdown, fighting, silence, the train runs off its tracks. Kiss me, try to fix it. Could you just try to listen? Like, it's just about like a relationship that just didn't work out. It's sad, it's beautiful, it's tragic. I relate.
I feel like the song was too sad, if that makes sense. Like, the way that and we'll probably talk about it in the actual full breakdown, but like, she just delivers every line with not a lot of, like, not even that it's devoid of emotion almost. Yeah. And it's probably one of my least favorite Taylor Swift songs. Just because, like, I just don't feel anything for it.
Okay.
So I was interested to see that you had this on here, because I never understand how people can relate to the song, but I just never. It was always a skipped song for me.
To each their own.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, everyone likes All Too Well, but everyone hates other songs.
The next one for me, I don't know what relationship. I don't think it was about a relationship. I think it was like about something that could have been but never was, like Come Back, Be Here, which is our tagline. You know, you said it in a simple way, 4 a.m. the second day, how strange that I don't know you at all. This is falling for you when we're worlds away. It's like about distance. It never worked out.
It has a great bridge too. Great, like a great like pick me up like building
In New
bridge.
York, yeah. But that was like a sad one for me. And I think that's all that I had for Red.
I put Begin Again on here. I don't know if I ever cried to it. I have no evidence to support that I have. But like I said, this song came out right as I was gathering the courage to break up with someone for the first time. So there was a lot of emotion for me with the idea of beginning again after a relationship of 3.5 years. And I don't know if it gave me more hope or it was more of a comfort thing of like, it's possible to be okay after you break up with someone. But I just wanted to at least mention that one. I think after we get to here, I'm going to have a lot less to say, and you're going to have a lot more to say.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about your last point about Treacherous?
Oh, yeah. Treacherous. Yeah, so Treacherous was great. I think that was one of my favorite songs when I initially heard the album. And I think, like this, like I said, the collection of, like, songs 1 to 7 on this album, because I never really liked the back end of the album. I don't know why, but like I really liked that front end. But there were just, like I said, there's so many emotionally charged songs in the beginning, and like when it was released, like I said, I was in that really tumultuous time where like between relationships and figuring out who I was, figuring out what relationships I liked, what people I liked, and how to get them to like me back. I really latched onto it, and I was in college all by myself at the time when I was going through this idea of breaking up with this girl. It was weird because, yeah, like she had been with me, like I said, through high school and then until sophomore year of college. But because of that, I didn't really make any friends in college until after I broke up with her because, like, I had her. And I would always, like, she was, like, the constant. And, like, if I ever wanted to hang out with someone, it would be her. I wouldn't, like, I was a commuter, so I didn't, like, live on campus. I didn't meet people like that. I remember when this album came out, like, I would go to the library I went to Widener University, and they had these little cubbies, like, in the corners of the libraries that were, like, it had, like, everything was blocked off, so you could have full privacy. And I was just, like, jamming to this album. And like Treacherous and Red and I Almost Do and All Too Well, like all of them. I remember clear as day sitting in those cubbies and singing, and not singing, thank God, but just like jamming and probably crying once or twice to these. Probably.
I never cried to Red. Treacherous is not a sad song to me, honestly.
It's just emotional.
Treacherous makes me feel like happy. But we could talk about that like in the song breakdown, but like it gives me like a forbidden love, like Begin Again kind of vibe. It's like, you know, I don't know, I get happy when I listen to it.
To me it's more of an like I don't think I
it's
get
emotional
happy. I think I get more emotional. Yeah, I'm trying to look up lyrics that it like
put your lips close to mine as long as they don't touch. Like it's just about love. Like it's just about like this like not love, but like this forbidden, like your name will echo through my mind, and I just need you to know I'll follow you home. Like, it's just...
The ones that I think stuck out to me was I Can't Decide If It's a Choice Getting Swept Away. Like, that one of, like, for me, it was very much like I don't know what I'm doing. I hear the sound of my own voice asking you to stay. It was like me, like, I'm breaking up with a girl and she wants me to stay.
Oh, see, I think of the opposite. Like, I think about, like, the beginning of a relationship. Like, I hear you, like, asking me to stay. We can talk about it later.
But the other one was, the one that really sticks out to me is Forever Going With the Flow, But Your Friction. And, like, for me, that one stuck out to me in the relationship. Like I said, I don't think it was this song as an individual song, but I just think it was lumped in where, like, these were the songs that I listened to together. And I just associated the same feelings of All Too Well, I Almost Do, all of that with this grouping of songs. So Red, again, even though like it was one of those things of like you're falling out of love, but you're listening to love songs, and you're like you're at this point in your life where you're like, I want love, I should have it right now, but for some reason I don't, and I don't know. I know I can't get it with where I'm at right now. Like, I have to move forward into a loveless state where I don't have anyone anymore. and I have to listen. Then I have to listen to these songs about people being in love and not be able to relate.
Yeah.
And I think that was where it ended up coming from a lot, where it was just like, it was a very lonely time for me because I didn't know anyone on campus, and I had just broken up with a girl that was my whole world at that point. And I was just like, well, yeah, let's sing about love. Yeah, that feels great. Thanks.
Well, Red is like such a heartbreak related album, so it's, it's easy to relate.
But let's go to 1989. Let's get out of.
So yeah, the last 3 albums, I
feel like we could probably combine them into one.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll just go through it quickly. 1989 as my shirt. I'm wearing my 1989 tour shirt.
She finally wears the Taylor Swift shirt, and she has to let everyone know.
It was at home. I finally got it. So I only cried to 2 songs on this album. One of them is, the saddest song disguised as a pop anthem, which is All You Had to Do Was Stay.
Yo, I thought that I didn't cry to any song on 1989, and then you wrote All I Had to Do Was Stay, and I listened to it again, and I'm like, I remember wiping a tear off of a desk to this song before, because it was like I said, it was the first time a girl ever broke up with me, and I was like, I did everything for you. All you had to do was stay. You would have had everything.
Yeah. Had me in the palm of your hand. Why'd you have to let me? It's like, it's sobbing to it. It's just so sad. People like me are gone forever when you say goodbye.
I remember, so distinctly. I remember sitting in that cubby in Widener's library, and just like head on the side, just like, people like me are gone forever when they say goodbye. And then I wasn't, because we got back together 3 times. But still,
you thought.
I thought people like me were gone forever when you say goodbye. But again, like I said, I get back together with every girl I've ever broken up with. So apparently I'm not who I think I am in Taylor Swift's world. My note says I was never gone forever when I should have been.
Oh, Joe, when will you learn?
Probably never.
But that was All You Had to Do Was Stay. And then the last song I cried to, that I sobbed to, actually, was Clean. So this was like junior year, maybe even like the summer going into senior year of college, when I was finally over that ex who like emotionally wrecked me. And I realized, I'm finally clean. Like, you're still all over me like a wine-stained dress I can't wear anymore. I cried to the whole song, but just the whole chorus, the rain came pouring down. That's when I was drowning. Now I can finally breathe. The water filled my lungs. I screamed so loud, but no one heard a thing. And then just the bridge too, 10 years older, I must admit, just because you're clean don't mean, don't miss it. Like,
I didn't really care for this song.
It's so
I see why people do.
It's so significant. It's just like, it's that moment, like, we talked about, I think he knows. I forgot that you existed, like, breathing in the fresh air and being like, I'm done. Like, Clean is the version of, I've been through all this trauma, you've hurt me so much, but now I woke up and I'm like, it's good. I'm clean. Like,
I remember I dated a girl who was just getting over a guy, and this was her go-to song. Like, every time I was hanging out with her, like, she'd be like, I gotta get a shower real quick. This would be on repeat when she was getting a shower. Like, and that's all she
wasn't over.
No, not at all. But yeah, no, I know of people who relate to this song.
Me.
I know that list is doubled. Reputation, we had nothing.
No songs. That was the one album that I have not cried to any songs on there.
Jimmy Fallon did cry to New Year's Day, though.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like a personal reference.
It was cute.
To him, yeah. It's meaningful for him. But then we get to Lover. So this was last year. I was like finishing up college.
You were lucky enough to have a breakup to be able to cry to this album.
What do you mean?
You were lucky enough. Yeah, you had a breakup to cry to.
But I mean, maybe Afterglow I could relate to a breakup, but none of them, like, they're all love songs.
Soon You'll Get Better. I don't know why. I don't relate to that song at all.
Soon You'll Get Better. I just think about like the relationship that Taylor has with her mom and just the helplessness that she's feeling, you know. The lyric that just gets me the most is, I hate to make this all about me, but who am I supposed to talk to? What am I supposed to do if there's no you? This won't go back to normal if it ever was. It's been years of hoping, and now I'm saying this because I have to. Like, you'll get better. It's so helpless. I'm a very empathetic person, so like I could just feel myself in her position, and I'm like, I don't know what I would do. I would go crazy.
It's so weird. Like, it's another song that we'll talk about. I think we have like, you have the next song on Lover, and then we have one other song to talk about.
Yeah.
But this song, when it came out, I had like 4 or 5 people text me like, oh my gosh, this song absolutely destroyed me. It's so sad, blah, blah. And I really felt nothing, and I skipped it almost every time it came on.
Oh, so I listened to it once, cried, and then have continued to skip it. And then she sang it for the coronavirus like benefit.
I don't think I've ever watched that either.
Oh, that was good. She looks like she was gonna tear up. But that's that. And then the last song off Lover, I might have teared up. I don't think I like full on cried, but Afterglow, because it's so relatable about like, you know, making things up in your head and like, you know, thinking this is too good and trying to like self-sabotage, like, hey, it's all me in my head. I'm the one who burned us down. It's not what I meant. I'm sorry that I hurt you. Like, it's just, I lived like an island, punished you with silence, went off like sirens, just crying, like, and that's just about like, you know, messing up a relationship and just like trying to make that drama happen and then realizing like, oh, never mind, like I didn't want to hurt you. I'm sorry, like, forgive me. Meet me in the Afterglow.
I didn't cry at any song on Lover. Just not a crying guy currently.
It's a very happy, lovey album.
It was. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if I sent it to anyone, but I was like, I was really listening to sad songs again recently, and I said to the other day to a friend, I was like, I wish I could break up with someone right now. Like, just like I just want to feel more.
Don't. No, it's so bad. Don't break up with anyone ever. The next person you
are
in a relationship, just marry them. Just don't do it. It sucks. Breakups are awful.
I miss them. It's just because I haven't had them in forever. I miss it.
Yeah.
The only other song that we wanted to talk to, which we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it, is Ronin. I don't know how you can't be a human. You're a monster if you listen to the song and can't cry. Like, and this is the weird thing is like I said, I couldn't cry. I couldn't relate to Soon You'll Get Better, but somehow I can cry. I can't relate to having a 4-year-old die of cancer, but I mean,
yeah, I didn't pick any lyrics out because just the whole thing.
The whole thing. I think the lyric that always comes to my mind that like gets me, aside from again all of them, but is what if I'm standing in your closet trying to talk to you? That is.
Nope. No.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it.
No.
just know that we've cried to Ronin multiple times whenever it's not a song that I'm like, I want to listen to Ronin. It's just
I have. Over the last 2 months,
really?
I have listened to it a lot. Just because I want to feel things.
I couldn't. I'm
too happy.
Sad.
I'm too happy now. I need to be sad.
That's just... What is it? Masochist? Like just making yourself feel pain?
Why do you think I date people the way I do?
Just Satan.
I date... Yeah, the girl who broke up with me 4 times was Satan too. Just to put a roundabout on that story. We were going to talk in closing statements about like why we felt we cried more to the beginning songs than the end. But we are at about an hour 20 right now on my recording. Yeah. I don't think we want to go any longer than this.
I think we're good. I think, you know, my final closing statement is, God, I'm sad and lonely, but also do not want to feel these things for a while. So, like, I'm not dating for, like, years.
My closing statements is I miss all of these feelings, and someone please come break my heart. Just anyone.
I'm ready for someone to break my heart again.
I'm ready to get hurt again.
Michael Scott.
I want to relate to these songs again. I've run out of the emotion that, like, the emotional gas tank that used to be filled with all of this. I need a refill.
Take mine. Take my sadness. I don't want it.
Please subscribe. Thank you guys for listening so much. Thank you guys for going on this tale of sadness with us. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about us as people. I hope you go home and cry to these songs. A weird thing to say to your audience. Please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. We're available on all of them, including YouTube now. You can see our pretty faces. You can see our Taylor Swift garb. I'm not wearing a Taylor Swift shirt, but it does say the number 13, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Rate us 5 stars. Tell a friend about us if you like it.
If you think we missed a song, please let us know. If you've cried to any song that might be obscure, send us a DM. I'd love to shout it out on social media.
Please, a new song for me to cry to. Yes.
So follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We Need to Calm Down podcast. On Twitter, it's WNCDT.
That's a hard one to remember.
Podcast. It's just a weird acronym. But just let us know what you think. Let us know if we missed anything. Hit me up.
If you have a suggestion for an episode or any content, anything you'd like to see us do, post, or anything like that, let us know.
All right. Thank you, guys. Come back. We'll be here.